Hello, everybody. It's Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and we are now starting our Facebook Live class, which is 3 ways the law of attraction is harming you. I actually have a lot that we're going to cover, so I've got my tablet here and following along on my notes because I've got a whole page of notes for us to go over. Now, since this is a Facebook Live class, people are just now joining, and so I always like to plan something that we can talk about at the very beginning so we're not just sitting here twiddling our thumbs waiting for everyone to join. So just a couple things, because I didn't fully introduce myself. My name is Maya Zahira, and this class is 3 ways the law of attraction is harming you. And I am the founder of Psychic Protection Sanctuary, which offers online and in-person classes and sessions. I'm going to give you my website just so you have it, and then going to go into a bit of other info. I see a lot of people have already joined, so welcome. So just a little update. Hey, Zahira. Zahira's joining us from Seattle. And actually, usually what we do, and I haven't gotten to that yet, we have people joining so fast this time. It's awesome. Xavier says, working on a webinar, but wanted to say hi, love and light. I'll share if you'd like. Actually, share the group, because I like it when people watch this within the group. Yeah, so share the group page, or group link, if you could. So as you're joining, if you could tell us the location that you are joining us from. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hey, Luke. Lots of people. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes, so this is awesome. Everybody's joining really fast. So tell me the city and state that you're joining from, and then also one word that describes how you are doing right now. So I thought we could have a little bit of fun with this. Independence. Methika is joining us from Independence. Mark from Athens, Georgia. Hello, Mark. So good to see you, hear from you. Awesome. So everybody please introduce yourself. And so I was going to give a little bit of an update, and my update is that I just updated my website, and I'm really excited about this, so that the URL, and Methika says tired, she's tired tonight, that my new URL, the new website that you can type in, is actually Psychic Protection Sanctuary. So Susan says, good evening, I'm from Covington, Tennessee, near Memphis, and in a word, I'm feeling exhausted. Oh, so we've got some tired energy going on tonight. So you can find me at www.psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. And it's the same as my other website, but when I used to read off my other URL, I always had to spell it because it's my name, www.mayazahira.com. And that's still my website, but I have it set up so if you type in Psychic Protection Sanctuary, it will forward to there. So it's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited. It's the little things that I get excited about. Luke is joining from Blue Springs, Missouri, and his word is relieved. And Marla is joining us from Overland Park, Kansas, and she says, in a quandary. Everything works out, whatever's going on. So, okay. Do we have anybody else? Nope, we had a whole bunch of people joining real quick, and I think we are all here. Oh, here's Anne. I'm from Trail, British Columbia, Canada. Feeling rather well, tiny bit tired. Yeah. Yes. So those of you who are just joining, be sure to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, and one word that describes how you're feeling right now. You might also want to get a pen and paper, because in just a minute we're going to jump into our material. Zahira says she's joining from Seattle, Washington. Tired from long day, but very fun. Tired from long, but very fun dance festival weekend. Oh, that sounds fun. Welcome, Ashley. So we're all typing in where we're joining from, city and state, and then also one word that describes how you're doing right now. And Jay Reeve says, this is Jay from Cleveland, Ohio, and your word is tired. Ashley, I love the unicorn and the rainbow. I love unicorns. That's so awesome. Awesome. Cool. So, since there's probably going to be a couple more people that join, I just want to talk about something just kind of fun right now, and then we'll get into our actual content in a little bit. So I don't know if the rest of you ever have a period in your life where you feel like you're getting an upgrade. That's what I call it, and I call it an energy upgrade. I haven't really asked other people about this, but it's something that happens in my life where I'll feel like it definitely feels like there's some shifting going on. Like I can feel like my energy does feel different. Like I just feel different. Give me a thumbs up if you, as I'm talking through this, or a heart or a smiley face, as I'm talking through this, if you can relate to any of this. So sometimes when I have an energy upgrade, sometimes it will, before the energy upgrade, I might have a period where there's a little bit of chaos, or I just get fed up with everything, or just like some crazy stuff is going on. So there's a little bit of like dust that gets stirred up, and then the energy upgrade happens, or things feel really challenging and I get pushed really hard, and then the upgrade happens. Jeannie is joining from Piper, Kansas, and her word is tired. So those of you who are just joining, tell us where you're joining from and one word that describes how you're doing right now. So I, a couple weeks ago, started to realize that I was going through another energy upgrade, and I just, like, my energy felt different. I just felt more grounded, more on purpose, more clear. My food, I'm a healthy, I like to eat, I like healthy food anyway, but like that even upgraded to where there were certain treats that I used to have that I did not even want those anymore. So my food preferences and my food needs changed. And it's like, I don't know how to describe it. If anyone has other words for how an energy upgrade feels for them, go ahead and share. Amy is joining us from LA, California, and her word is excited. Ooh, cool. So as I've been going through this energy upgrade, I had something happen last night that was kind of cool, and I've had this happen a few times. I've had this happen a few times in the past, but not recently. So I'm also curious if anyone else has ever had this happen. So last night I was in bed, fast asleep, and what woke me up is that I sensed that one of my guardian angels, I'm very connected with two of my guardian angels, so if that's weird to you, sorry. Like some people can relate to that, some people not. But I was woken up because he was standing at my feet, and he sent energy up my feet, and it went up my body, and it was so strong that it actually made my my spine arch, because all this energy poured in and then it was going up and out the top of my head. And I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, well, definitely energy. So that's cool. I actually had that happen 5 years ago or so, and when it happened at that time, it was so strong that it actually made my whole body like go wave, like my whole body waved when, and again, I was on my back, and he sent this energy up through my feet, and my legs lifted, and then went down, and then my hips, and then my torso, and then my chest, my shoulders, and then my head, and it all went in one zoop like that, and I went, whoa, in my bed, and it woke me up. And then he did it a second time, which wasn't quite as jarring as the first time, but anyway, so that's happened a couple of times in the past, and it's just like receiving some energy. It's interesting that he's not sending it through my crown chakra, which is about spiritual energy, but he's sending it up my feet. That actually makes sense to me because I've had issues throughout my life with being more connected, grounded and connected with the planet, which might seem kind of surprising to some people since I'm so nature oriented, but had health issues and issues with my physical body my whole life. So I think that's why that energy was coming up through the feet chakras and the root chakra. So how does that benefit all of you? When I'm having an energy upgrade, that means that I'm getting all sorts of, well, my vibration is going up, and so then as I share that, as I connect with all of you, that positively affects all of you, and then all these inspirations come in, and it's just super cool. So that's what I'm going through right now, and I don't know what is going to be the final outcome of it, So tell me, before we go into our class content for today, has anybody else experienced an energy upgrade, even if you didn't have that weird energy getting pushed through your feet kind of thing, where you just feel like your life is suddenly shifting, and you feel like things are different, you feel like you're different, you feel like you have a period, whether it's a day or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, where you feel like you're going boom, 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 boom in your progression compared to usual. Give me a heart or a thumbs up or a smiley face. And I gotta fix my chair here. Okay. There, that's better. Okay, much better. Now I can sit closer to you all. So make sure you have a pen and paper. You might be interested in taking some notes on what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, so this class is 3 ways that the law of attraction is harming you, or could be harming you, actually. I don't know for sure if it's harming you or not. Depends on what your belief system is. And since this is taking place in Psychic Protection Sanctuary, we are going to most definitely tie in psychic protection issues as well. So this is going to apply to just basic information about the law of attraction, and then also it's going to tie in with psychic protection issues as well. So I'm definitely going to be looking at my notes. I've got my tablet here since we have a lot to cover, so pardon me if I'm looking down some of the time. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So let's define the law of attraction first, because not everybody knows what it is, or not everybody's really, like, I want to make sure we're all on the same wavelength, like that what I'm talking about is what you think I'm talking about. And anybody who's just joining, make sure, if you could, tell us where you're joining from and give us one word that describes how you're doing right now. So does anybody know what the law, I know some of you on here know, so go ahead, and if you know what the law of attraction is, go ahead and type in right now what you think it is. What's the law of attraction? And since I'm not able to see really, really long comments, just give me like one sentence or a blurb about what it is. What is the law of attraction? And I'll give you a hint, this is not about like attraction between romantic partners. That's not what this is about. This is about manifesting the law of attraction. Who wants to be brave and tell us what you, in your words, in a nutshell, what the law of attraction is? Welcome, Sherry. Tell us where you're joining from and one word that describes how you're doing right now. Mathika says, you get back what you put out there. That's right. And so there's a lot of different ways to word this. So how would other people describe it? Law of attraction. What is the law of attraction? So Mathika says, what you get back what you put out. Okay? And Sherry says, hello, rested. Good, that's good. Zahira says, what you put out, you get back. Yes. Anne says, putting out to the universe what you want to attract. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about like what you focus on. What you focus on. What about the law? What does the law of attraction say about what you focus on? Sherry says, what you think about, you attract to you. Yes. Okay, that's the wording that I was looking for. Luke, like frequencies draw each other. Yes. I like how we have a variety of ways that we've worded this because it's all of those answers are right. It's just filling it out a little bit more. Ashley says, the idea where one's vibrations sync with the universe to give you what you desire. Yes. Definitely. Mathika says, what you focus on expands. Yes. These are all good definitions. Amy says, words, feelings, thoughts are vibrations. Ripple effect going out and coming back. So whatever words you speak, whatever feelings you project out there, whatever thoughts you have, all of those are vibrations that go out into the universe as a ripple effect. And then they come back to you as a reflection of, so if you speak words about something, send that ripple out, and what comes back to you is a reflection of what you sent out. So all of these are correct. Yes. Okay. I think we're done with everybody who is sharing, so that is cool. Feel free, if you have anything else that you want to say, you can still type in and send. So yes, so all of those are really good definitions. The law of attraction is, it was actually popularized by the movie The Secret, and got a mosquito in the room. It was popularized by the movie The Secret. I don't remember what year The Secret came out. It was several years ago. And it's a great movie. It actually motivated a lot of people. It inspired a lot of people to work on manifesting better things in their life and not focusing so much on the negative all the time. And, it helped people to feel more empowered about creating the things that they wanted to create in their life. And that's a really good thing. So I'm definitely not saying that the law of attraction is all bad. It's actually a good thing. I use the law of attraction in my own life as I'm working on manifesting the things that I desire. But what I've noticed about a lot of different spiritual teachings out there is that there tends to be, there's a tendency to over-apply certain concepts or oversimplify or just like apply them in a blanket sort of way in inappropriate situations. So with the movie The Secret, one of the problems with that movie was that the concepts were very oversimplified. And so people took just part of the puzzle from that movie. They took, the information from that movie, which was only part of the puzzle, and they assumed that that's it, that's all the information, right? So the law of attraction, also known as LOA, says that what you think about comes about. What you focus on is what you bring into your reality. And since that movie came out, many have used this to manifest really awesome things in their lives. But there have also been a lot of other people who haven't been able to manifest what they wanted, and they didn't really understand why. Now, I forgot to put in my notes, but there's another really important player in the popularity of the law of attraction, and that is Abraham Hicks. And I also love Abraham Hicks material, so I love all of it. Abraham Hicks is actually a hyphenation. It's actually Abraham is a group of spiritual beings that share messages through a woman named Esther Hicks. So they've come up with a hyphenation, Abraham Hicks. Or for short, people just say the Abraham material. So the Abraham material also talks a lot about the law of attraction, and they go into a lot more detail than The Secret does, which is really good because The Secret was a little oversimplified. It was a movie, it was a movie. It was meant to inspire people. So the Abraham Hicks material does go into more detail, but still there are some things missing. And with all due respect to their material, because they have helped a ton of people. So I'm going to focus on what some of the issues are and how they can trip you up and how they can also make you vulnerable to psychic protection issues so that you'll be more aware. So with this information, you'll be able to still, for example, watch and enjoy and be inspired by movies like The Secret or other books that may be books or movies, material that's about the law of attraction, or even listen to material from Abraham Hicks and really get a lot out of it, but keep it in check with some of the material that I'm going to share with you here. Okay, so as I'm going, if you have any questions, please ask. Okay, so if you have any questions at all, please ask, or if anything doesn't make sense, or if you have a story or anything like that, please do share. Okay. Some of my classes are a little more interactive where I have a lot of questions as we go. And this one, not so much. I have information that I'm going to share with you. So I do encourage you to ask questions. Okay, so there is a dark side to the law of attraction. It tends to be, people tend to oversimplify it. That's one of the main problems. They tend to oversimplify it. And the truth is that there are so many factors that cause us to manifest things. The law of attraction, what you send out is what comes back to you, is only one of many factors that cause you to manifest different things in your life. So if it was simply true that whatever you focus on comes back to you, that vision board that you made with all those wonderful things that you want to manifest, or the affirmations that you've been speaking about how you want to have $1 million, all of that would have instantly come to you if it was that simple. And you probably have manifested some things very intentionally into your life because it is one factor that assists you in bringing things into your life. So again, I'm not saying that you can't manifest things into your life, but the point is, it's not that simple. It's not always that simple. So there's actually other factors that cause you to manifest things in your life, not just the thoughts, words, and emotions that you send out. For example, karma, your own karma or other people's karma can have an impact on what manifests in your life. Soul contracts. Soul contracts are sacred agreements that you made, that your soul made before you came into this life. And we actually assume that those soul contracts are intentional and good, but in the area that I work with in psychic protection, there are times when people have been, whether it's before this lifetime or in other lifetimes, they've been tricked into agreeing to a contract that wasn't for their benefit, and not tricked by God or angels, but by the dark forces. Excuse me. Pardon me. Apparently that brings something up for me. Throat chakra right there. Another thing that can cause you to manifest some things in your life could be dark interference in your soul path. That could cause some negative things to happen in your life, and it's not that you drew it to you, it's not that you sent that energy out, it's that there was interference from outside of you to throw you off of your soul path. And if your soul path, if you have a high soul path that's aligned with truth and God and love, then yes, sometimes dark interference will want to come in and throw you off of that. That is not because you drew it to you, it's because somebody was interfering with your path. Does that make sense? There's actually a book out there that I want to recommend to everybody. And it is, I actually don't have a paper copy of it. I have the Kindle version only, so I can't hold it up to you all. The book is called, so grab your pen, Truth, Triumph, and Transformation. Truth, Triumph, and Transformation by Sandra Ann, with an E, Taylor. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Tell us where you're joining us from and share with us one word that describes how you're doing right now. So Truth, Triumph, and Transformation by Sandra Ann Taylor. That is the best book out there that I have found that describes the law of attraction and how it really works, and all of the other factors that can come into play with the different things that you can manifest in your life. Now, she's not coming from the vantage point of psychic protection like I am, but it's a very informative book, and I encourage everybody to read that if you want to have a better understanding of some of the snags with the law of attraction and some of the truths. And Sandra Ann Taylor is a very, very well-known psychic and an author through Hay House. So she's not just a random person, and she has published a lot of books. Also, one of the other issues with the law of attraction is that people tend to slap it onto everything, even when it is not a good fit to do so. So I'm going to give you an example, and I want to give you a trigger warning because this is not an easy example. Okay, I'm going to talk about sexual assault. So if that's a trigger for you, I want to give a heads up. Okay, this is a pretty extreme example, but I need to give it because I can't even tell you how many times I have heard people who follow the law of attraction spout this off because their teacher taught it to them, or even I've heard spiritual teachers say this to me. So, and just like it really makes my head want to explode. So here's the example. So I was talking about how people slap the law of attraction onto everything, even when it's not appropriate to do so, or even when it's not the right fit. So the example is when someone tells a rape victim that they drew that violence to them because they had a vibrational match for rape in their energy field, and that is why they got attacked. Okay. Just 2 weeks ago, I had a spiritual teacher say that to my face. And, and I have been in yoga trainings where they've been teaching about the law of attraction And I have heard them say that as well about rape victims. Now, I'm not trashing yoga or anything, just like a variety of different spiritual classes and events and teachers and followers, whether it's yoga or anything else, across the board, this belief that, this horrible thing has happened to this person, but because we're slapping the law of attraction everywhere, we're just like slapping it onto everything, we apply it in ways that are just horrendous. Okay? So does that make your head want to explode when you hear me talk about someone saying that to a rape victim? Yeah, it really, I'm almost kind of at a loss for words when I even think about it. So yes, those kinds of things are said. Yeah, give me some angry faces or some tears. Thank you. Not that I want us to be all angry, but yeah. And Methika says, yeah, yes, head explosion. Right. So, and by the way, we haven't even gotten into the 3 ways that the law of attraction is harming you, but just talking in general about some of the issues. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. So people slap the law of attraction onto everything, and that's another example of people over applying spiritual teachings. I see that all the time, whether it's the law of attraction or any spiritual teaching. It's like they say, oh, this is a great teaching, so they apply it everywhere without using discernment. And I saw there was a comment from Ashley. What bothers me is the implication that the universe wants to reward those who harm by that idea. Yep. Bothers me too. Zahira, I'm sorry. Well, we're going to clear up that confusion, because that belief that I was sharing is that some of the spiritual people, how they have inappropriately slapped the law of attraction onto physical violence issues. I'm going to clear up what's wrong with that. So just right now, I'm going to say that that's absolutely incorrect, inaccurate. It is a misuse and a distortion, clearly a distortion of the law of attraction, and it's being used in a harmful way that's hurting people, and not even in an accurate way. Okay, so just these distortions, as you can imagine, these distortions of the law of attraction can harm you and others. So they can harm you because they can leave you disempowered and vulnerable, which I'm going to explain in our 3 ways here in a minute. And they can harm others because if we're going around spouting off law of attraction distortions to people, imagine how harmful that is to someone who's gone through a traumatic experience, whatever it may be, and we're telling them that they caused it. So it's harmful all around. And Susan says, very much harmful, could actually make someone depressed and down on themselves. Oh yeah, totally. Well, even more depressed is what Susan says. Yes. So, did I share my one example? Okay, I'm going to keep going through the list here. Okay, so now we're going to go into the 3 ways that the law of attraction is harming you, or it could be harming you, and this is in regards to the area of protection. So I want you to just think for a minute. I'm just going to do a little bit of brainstorming regarding psychic protection. And my Psychic Protection Sanctuary Facebook group, the free group. You've seen the kinds of things that we post about. So whether it's issues with your energy, being sensitive as an empath, or actually having entity attack or psychic attack or issues like that. think about the kinds of things that we talk about in the group, and how do you think that some of these distortions in the law of the law of attraction could cause harm in regards to psychic protection issues? So think about that for a minute, and then I want you to type your answer. So you might have to think for a little bit, like how, okay, so we talked about these distortions, about how people slap it onto everything and how it's oversimplified. So how do you think, and the belief that what we send out is what comes back, what we think about is what we draw to us. And if that's over-applied and oversimplified, how do you think that would impact you in regards to your psychic protection? Okay, so as you're thinking about that, coming up with answers and typing, I'm going to go over a little tidbit of other information, and then we'll go through the answers, and then we're going to go into our three main ways that the law of attraction could be harming you. Okay, so I want to make sure that I share my website again, and it's www.psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. That's my new URL. You can still reach me at mayazahira.com, but it's easier to type Psychic Protection Sanctuary because you don't have to think about the spelling, and it goes right to my old URL. It's set up to forward, which is really exciting. Susan says, well, if you're down like that and have those negative emotions, I feel that it would make one vulnerable to loads of things, including protecting yourself from psychic attacks. Yep, that is right. Thank you, Susan. So as we have more answers come through, I also want to take a moment. I know we're going to have a couple more answers. I'm going to take a moment and tell you about how my CREATE program is open again. And the CREATE program, CREATE stands for Comprehensive Reiki, Energy Healing, and Transformation Education. It's actually a 12-month program where you get to learn you actually go through Reiki certification, and you also learn how to balance your chakras, work with your aura, so aspects of energy healing. We also go into intuitive development and working with gemstones, and also there's some lessons in there about healthy energy boundaries and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of information there. It's actually an online course, and there are some aspects of it that you have the option of meeting here in Overland Park, Kansas, or doing it online. So you can do it either way. And that is actually open right now. So I wanted to let you all know about that. And you can find the information on my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. So if you're interested, it's been closed for several months to new members, and so it's going to be open for a little bit. If you've been thinking about it, then you might want to check that out and work on applying. Okay, now all the answers are pouring in. Okay, Luke says, mistaking something as coming back to you as being through the law of attraction, when in reality it is negative energy disguising itself. Yes, right. So blaming yourself if you've had some kind of a negative energy issue, negative energy attack, thinking that it came from you when maybe it didn't. Okay, Methica says, it might make people feel responsible and damaged if they are prone to psychic attack, like the entities are an extension of themselves. And Methica, just to share my own story, I went through a really severe psychic attack last year that came about because I went to a spiritual teacher who had a really horrible entity attached to her. And when I was going through clearing it out and I was reaching out to the community, one of the most common responses that I got was that the experience that I was having was not real, and that it was a projection of something that was within me. And they were saying that to me because they had been so ingrained with the teachings of the law of attraction that they could not believe that. Yeah, thank you for all the angry faces and the affirmation. Thank you. So there are times when people do draw things to them. That's true. But there are a lot of other times when crap happens, you end up at the wrong place at the wrong time, or you go to the wrong person and you end up with cooties, and then you've got to clear it out. Marla says you end up opening up sourcing from unknown beings. Yeah, if you're over applying the law of attraction, that's certainly true. Anne says, I have had people want to know, I can get this comment to go up. I have had people want to know what I've been doing to bring all the interesting life twists to me. So they're like, so they're blaming you. That's no good. I want to put an angry face right there. No, that's mean. Yeah, Zahira says, if I were told I attracted it, I would be afraid and very worried about how and what I was subconsciously sending out. Yeah. And so what it does is it creates this really toxic thought loop. And actually I'm going to go into some other examples as we go. So now let's go into our 3 ways that the law of attraction could be harming you. And we've really already touched on these as we've shared, but these really encapsulate all of it into these 3 concepts. So grab a pen, and I'm going to get a drink of water before we go into our 3 things. Because talking makes me thirsty. Okay. These are the 3 things that can make you, that can cause let's try that again. These are the 3 ways that the law of attraction could be harming you. Number 1, people think, now I'm going to stop here. I'm going to backtrack. Remember, the law of attraction says that whatever you think about and focus on is what you draw back to you. Okay, so if we take that literally and we think only what we focus on, whatever we focus on is what we draw back to us. And if we extend that and we look at the opposite, like if what we focus on is what we draw to us, then if we don't focus on something, then we will never draw it to us. So that's the distorted logic. If you don't focus on something, then you won't draw it to you. Okay? So number 1, people think that if they focus on love and light only, that is all that they will attract to them. Okay? So how do you think that could make you vulnerable? It's actually false that if you only focus on love and light, that is all you will attract to you. It's totally false. Opposites also attract. And when I'm out in the spiritual community, I'm helping people understand this fallacy all the time, because people will tell me all the time, I don't need to learn about psychic protection because I only focus on love and light. And I have to explain to them that it doesn't work like that. Opposites also attract. There are a lot of light workers on the planet right now, in fact, who are specifically attacked, not because they have darkness within them, but because they have such a strong light. Now, we all have some darkness within us, okay? Like, no one is 100% light, but you get what I'm saying, okay? So, opposites also attract, all right? So, if you focus, if you have the belief that just if you focus on love and light and don't think about anything dark, then everything will be fine. All this does is it leaves you wide open to attack because you're too afraid to look at protection techniques. There's avoidance. Okay? So we're still on number 1. Number 1. People think that if they focus on love and light, that is all they will attract to them. So what's happening is avoidance. And what's underneath that avoidance? So people think that they're applying the law of attraction, like, I'm going to focus on love and light, and I'm only going to attract love and light. But what's behind that, what's underneath that, is a whole lot of fear. Tons of fear that they have, that if they say anything or think about anything or take a class for an hour about something that's not love and light, that suddenly all sorts of bad stuff is going to happen to them. So people are also afraid to learn psychic protection because they think that anything they focus on will come flooding in. This is actually totally fear-based. Those are fear-based actions. So they're lying to themselves, saying they're focusing on the positive, but what they're really doing is acting from a place of fear by avoiding. Okay? So if everything that you focused on immediately came pouring into your life, you would already have $1 million, or you'd already have everything that you've glued onto your vision board. Okay? It's more complicated than that to manifest. I'm going to jump ahead and talk and just mention something that Sandra Ann Taylor, in her book, Truth, Triumph, and Transformation, what she explains is that it's actually kind of silly to think that if you speak one negative word, or you're having one bad day, or you read a book about psychic protection, that all of a sudden all of this horrible stuff is going to come flooding in. What she explains is that it's not like just one little thing that's going to make a bunch of negativity come into your life. It's actually your overall, this is really important, so listen hard. It's your overall vibration that is what draws things to you in your life, in addition to all of the other things like soul contracts, karma, etc. Not just a single word or thought, or focusing on, a class for an hour, or reading a book about something uncomfortable. That doesn't immediately bring things flooding into your life. It's your overall vibration. So that's why if you have like one bad day, and you're just really negative that day, it doesn't make your whole life fall apart all of a sudden. But if you are constantly a negative person, or constantly focusing on darkness and exploring dark practices, then yeah, you're going by the law of attraction, because that's your overall primary vibration. Then it is going to draw more of that into your life, because it's your primary vibration. So overall, with the law of attraction, think about how you want to just focus on your overall vibration being positive and uplifting, and don't worry about all of the little things. You need to find balance. You need to allow yourself to, for example, go to for example, come to these classes, learn about psychic protection, or go to a class on, I can't think of the word, on like physical protection. Go to a martial arts self-defense. I couldn't think of the phrase self-defense. Go to like a self-defense class. That's not going to cause people to attack you by going to a self-defense class for an hour. But if every day, every second of the day, you're focusing on people attacking you, that's, yeah, so you see the difference. Okay, so it's your overall vibration. Your overall vibration. So number one was, people think that if they focus on love and light, that is all they will attract to them. But you have to remember that opposites attract. And you have to remember that it's your overall vibration that is what has the most impact. Okay? Okay, if you have any questions or thoughts, just comment as we go. Okay, So, well, on number one, we were saying that is one way that the law of attraction could be harming you. If you're believing that focusing on love and light will protect you, then what's happening is you are having a lack of discernment and you're uninformed and you're actually acting from a place of fear and avoidance. So becoming more empowered and informed and finding more balance is a better way to go. Number two way that the law of attraction could be harming you is an oversimplification of the law of attraction. An oversimplification of the law of attraction causes victim blaming. Blaming of others and yourself. And we already talked about that a little bit when we talked about victims of violence. So, example one. Now, I'm going to give you two examples, and both of these examples are things that I actually observed in my real life. Okay. Example one, there was a woman attending a yoga class who suddenly had a really severe pain in the back of her neck. And it was so bad that she had to leave the yoga class partway through. And as she drove home, she was mentally and emotionally beating herself up because she was asking herself what she had done to vibrationally draw such horrible neck pain to herself. Okay, so as outsiders looking in at this story, doesn't it sound a bit cray-cray? Actually, that she's like totally blaming herself. Okay, there's a variety of reasons why she could have had a pain in her neck, and it doesn't necessarily mean that she vibrationally drew it to herself. So all that was really happening was that she was getting into self-blame and feeling terrible about herself. Now, it's possible that there was, we don't know, I don't really know what was going on in that situation, but there could have been a psychic protection issue going on where, there's a lot of yoga classes where they don't clear the energy properly. If you're watching this and you're a yoga teacher, this will be a loving reminder for you to do a really good job of taking ownership, taking full responsibility for really keeping the energy pristine and clean and clear, whether you're a yoga teacher or some other spiritual teacher or leader. You are responsible for the energy in that room, for keeping it clean and clear. And if you don't know how to do that, then contact me, because I'm really passionate about helping people with that sort of thing. So, maybe that student had something attach in to the back of her neck during the class. And instead of focusing on clearing it, she's busy blaming herself. Or maybe there's some physical, just a plain old physical issue going on. But she's, just like some vertebrae is out, but she's ruining her whole day because she's blaming herself. So that doesn't help her at all. So that's example one of how oversimplification of the law of attraction causes blaming, inappropriate blaming. Example two, a couple weeks ago, I had a meeting with a local spiritual teacher who shall go unnamed. I respect all of my colleagues, but I did not agree at all with what she was saying, which is why I'm going to leave her name out of this right here. We were talking about psychic protection, and she asked me to give an example of something that may have happened to an imaginary client of mine. So I made up a pretend client based on a lot of different things that have happened with clients that I've worked with. And so I said, okay, well, there's a client who has been attacked in bed while they were sleeping. They were woken up and they were sexually assaulted by an entity. And this was very traumatic for them, and I'm helping them to learn how to protect themselves and how to clear it and how to avoid this issue in the future, or how to try to avoid the issue in the future. And how she responded, she said that if she was working with that client, that pretend client, who had been attacked by an entity in that manner, she would counsel that person that they drew it to them because of darkness within themselves, and that she would explain that entity was actually an illusion and wasn't even real. And she would work with them to heal their illusions. Okay? So what she's done, so what she would do is use the law of attraction to help the person continue to be vulnerable, not teaching them how to actually clear the very real thing. And she would also teach them to blame themselves, because what she was saying was that it's their fault, that they drew it to them. And I pushed her a bit on this. I said, so you would tell that to them? And I said, well, what about the fact that opposites attract? Maybe they attracted it to them because of some other reason. And she said, nope, there is no other way. The only way that you can bring something into your reality is if you have it within yourself. There is no other way. And so she was very, very dogmatic about this belief. And actually, there's a lot of people out there who are very dogmatic about the law of attraction. And so we need to just remember to not be so dogmatic. We need to be balanced. Okay, so that's the oversimplification of the law of attraction. It causes victim blaming. It causes blaming of self and others. And that's one of the ways that it can harm you or others, or people spouting off the law of attraction to you when you've gone through something really traumatic. That's harmful to you. That is not helpful at all. Okay, so definitely share any comments, or if you've had any situations like that happen to you, then feel free to comment. Okay, so the third way that the law of attraction could be harming you is that a lot of people who are practicing the law of attraction end up having a lack of action. So if you're taking notes, write down lack of action. So they're focusing so much on the visualizing part. They're visualizing what they want to bring to them. They're visualizing love and light. They're visualizing the new car that they want to bring to themselves. They're visualizing the new job, but they're not taking any empowered action. Okay? So people think that if they just visualize something, it will come to them, but they fail to take actual action. Okay, so here's my question. If someone was raising their arm to punch you, so they were raising their arm, and in this split moment, you can tell they're going to strike you. Okay? Would you block it? Would you take action? You block it. Or would you just sit there and meditate and focus on the positive and focus on nonviolence in your life, or sit and stare at your vision board? Okay? So that sounds ridiculous, right? But people do it all the time, and they do it all the time in regards to psychic protection issues. So they say, I can't even count how many times I've scrolled through my Facebook feed, and someone will be posting, not necessarily in our group, but just some random group they're posting in, that they're in kind of major psychic protection issue. Something really major is happening to them. They're attacked, or there's a psychic attack, or they're having unwanted paranormal activity or something like that. And I can't even count how many times people will respond and say, just focus on love and light. Just focus on love and light, and that's what you will draw to you. Okay, people, it doesn't work that way. If you're literally, like if you're walking down the street and someone starts to attack you, focusing on love and light doesn't save you in that moment. You have to take action. You have to take action. You have to, kick the person in the knee, in the shin, or wherever you want to imagine kicking them, and then get away from there. Okay? If it's a psychic protection issue, then you need to apply your superpowered psychic protection techniques, whether it's the ones that I teach you or ones that you use for yourself. Don't just use the law of attraction and focusing on the positive if you're having a major issue. Okay? And Methika says, people who are filled with light often draw darkness, so that's asinine. Yes, I agree with you. There's just a lot of people out there, and the people who are still here live are the ones probably that are still in alignment with this, but there's just a whole lot of people out there who have really distorted the law of attraction. And it's, no offense to anybody out there, but part of the reason why I am doing this class is to help inform people, because there are a lot of spiritual teachers and a lot of followers who, they just, for whatever reason, they just don't know any better. Like, it just hasn't really clicked. And they really truly believe that they're doing a good thing by teaching this, the law of attraction, but in an oversimplified, over-applied, distorted sort of way. And that's really actually pretty dogmatic, and it's harming people. And so we have to remember balance. We have to remember balance, and, just important. Got to remember that. So let's talk about how, and Jay, I wanted the 2 thumbs up on the need to take action. Yes. Yeah, definitely. So I want to come back around full circle and say that the law of attraction is a very helpful teaching. It's a very good thing. Focusing on what you want to create in your life. And there are things that I'm focusing on. And Zahira says, yes, take action, not being an ostrich. Yeah, there's so much like putting the head in the sand, putting the head in the ground thing going on with the law of attraction people. Yeah, but definitely you can use the law of attraction to focus on manifesting things in your life. Balance that with empowered action. And also don't be afraid to have, don't be afraid of anything that's not, quote, positive. There's a lot of people out there that are so afraid of anything negative that they can't, they won't even allow themselves to express when they're having a bad day, or they feel angry about something, or anything negative at all. And remember, that's very fear-based. So keep yourself balanced. Remember that it's your overall vibration that has an impact on what you draw into your life. And also that there are tons of different factors that cause the things in your life. It can be your vibration that has drawn something in, but it could be karma, it could be soul contracts, it could be interference from the dark forces. I won't get into what all of that is. That would be a whole other class altogether. And so many other reasons why, and sometimes just pardon my French, but sometimes shit just happens. Sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and crappy stuff happens to good people, and you didn't cause it. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let's see if there's anything else. So with the area of psychic protection, focus on good energies and you draw those to you, but balance it with learning and becoming aware of the negative stuff. So you do need to learn about the negative things out there so that you can be empowered and take action when necessary. Okay? So now it is time for questions. Oh my gosh, it's 7:06. now it's time for questions. What questions do you have? We're going to finish in the next couple minutes. So if you have a question, type it really fast. And while I'm waiting for any possible questions, I'll give you my website and info again. My website, my new URL is www.psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and that will take anyone to my website, where you can learn more about all the different classes that I offer. And I do have programs that are all about psychic protection and downloadable programs that you can pay once and download the whole thing. And then I have a 12-month program on psychic protection. And then I also have courses and programs that are all about personal empowerment and personal transformation. And the CREATE program is one of those programs. And it stands for Comprehensive Reiki Energy Healing and Transformation Education. And it's a 12-month program. So my feeling with transformation programs, you're really not going to do much transforming if you just drop into one class every now and then. You're going to have the biggest transformation if you really make a commitment and work on something for an extended period of time. So that is why we do 12 months. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions coming in. So, okay, well, I will wrap this up. Just finishing up about the CREATE program. That is, the enrollment is open now. It's been closed for several months to new members, and it's open now, and it's open to everybody it's open to both men and women now, but you do have to apply, so it's not open to just everybody. Everybody can't join necessarily. You do have to be the right fit, and there's an application on my website, so you can, if you are interested, you can fill that out. It's a pretty short application, and then we'll set up a phone call. We can find out if it's a good mutual match. Okay, everybody, thank you for attending this class. If you have any questions that you think of later, you can always post them in the group. And as always, the replay will be available as well, so you can watch again from the beginning and take notes. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again for the next live stream. I don't know what the topic is yet, but I will announce it. I always meditate on it and come up with something really cool. We always have a free Facebook Live in the Psychic Protection Sanctuary group. That's this group. And it's always on the first and third Mondays at 6 p.m. Central. So I will see you next time. Sending you all my love. Bye-bye.